So welcome to AI for That. Today we're here with Noyan Bilge, co-founder of Klart AI, a 2-year-old AI startup based in Paris. Noyan, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm really excited to hear about Klart. You were just sharing with me that when you show it to prospects, soon to be customers, it has this wow effect. And I want to hear what goes into that. And of course, I want to hear what's behind the scenes as well. What's it been like to build a startup? You've come from some well-known companies, and I want to hear how startup life is different from them. So we'll go step by step. Let's start with, what was the moment that you knew you wanted to leave the established corporate world and start what's now this wow startup?
Yeah, actually, well, I had in mind for a long time already, right? So when I was working, well, I have more than 10 years of experience in mainly scale-ups. So while I was working there, I had always an ambition, let's say, to create my own company and work on it and like do something useful as well. And
What was it? What was it that you weren't getting in these scale ups that you wanted to get in starting your own startup?
Well, mainly working for a bit myself as well, like I having how do you say, like at least having in your hand your future a bit mainly, rather than other people deciding it. So that was a bit the point, let's say. But I always wanted actually to be an entrepreneur, right? So we were always and had many ideas, and ideas doesn't finish in any case. So we were always talking with friends and all. It would be great if we had this, if there was this tool as well, this and that's all. We had hundreds of ideas, and but never took the step, let's say, forward for a while, and
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, now it's the time, right? And then we started.
What was it about March 2023 that was and this idea from all the hundreds that was like, oh, now's the time?
Like it was mainly that there are a couple of things. First, it was the time for me as a person, like because I had already got the experience, I had the knowledge. I was getting bored a bit also. Hence, I was like, okay, there is time to learn something new, do something new, and that was the point for me. And the other hand, it was mainly about the market. Like there was new AI tools that pops out, and there's new ChatGPT that comes out, and the generative AI part. I mean, and it's not like AI is new, right? But this Gen AI thing actually, we thought it was the time actually to jump on the train and let's see what happens, right? So that was a bit the point where myself personally I was there and the market was potentially there, and we had the idea also. So there's always ideas in any case, so there is no lack of ideas. And then we were like, okay, this is time. I talked to a friend and he was like okay with it, and he wanted to do it as well. The friend that I was talking for a long time to with ideas and everything, and then we jumped on it and created the company.
So there are a few different factors that all converged at the same time. You had the experience, you were starting to get bored, the technology met you, you had an idea, and you had a teammate to do it with who was excited to jump in.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
that's totally it. Yeah, you summarized it very well, actually.
It's interesting, right? It's like, any one of those is maybe necessary but not sufficient, useful but not sufficient. But when you get all five and you get them in the same moment, sort of like a momentum to ride.
Yeah, yeah. When you have them all, actually, it's the time. But if you have couple of them already, actually, you can start. But
Yeah.
it will take more time to make it happen. Let's say, at least to find the
Yeah.
other ones, I suppose.
Um, and how long was it from inception till working product?
Uh, it took us actually what we did. I don't know if it was smart though, but what we did actually, we did start with a very simple product, and we said, okay, let's jump in, but let's do a very simple product, very quick, and then monetize it really quick, right? So we did that. Actually, we created an AI mail assistant, Gmail add-on, right? And it's quite simple product. We just plug the GPT, and then like there was a lot of coding behind, of course, but it took us like, I mean, 3 weeks, I suppose, to do it quite correctly, to monetize it and everything, and then we launched it. We got revenue from there, but our main idea wasn't that in any case. It was like to get revenue, to start with something, and then we started really on our main flagship product, let's say, Klart AI solution, and then we worked on it for, I mean, 8 months, 6 to 8 months actually, to make it like do a scalable architecture and everything correct and good and secure. And then we had our first customer. That was a quite good customer in any case, and from there actually it grew. Let's say.
So one of the things that I'm really interested about that, I appreciate the very strategic, uh, like we're going to get something that gives us enough money, sort of enough food to survive, that we can actually get more of what we want. Very resourceful. Uh, and I'm curious because there's so many different approaches to building product and building software. Some that say, how soon can the minimum viable product or the earliest testable, usable, lovable. What I hear you saying is we wanted to make sure that the architecture was sound and secure, maybe to make it easier to build on after that. Other people might take much longer. Other people might, release something in 8 weeks that's not actually fully viable. How did you guys decide on this approach that ended up taking 8 months?
Well, that's actually this is the part where I'm still not sure how to go with, and I think it depends on the product that you are building, right? So, but in our case, we did do everything sound from the beginning and took more time than we should, maybe, because first, Errol, my co-founder, is someone very and like he likes to do things correctly and good, and doesn't want to go out with something like mediocre, let's say. Um, and also, yeah, we are both a bit like that. So it was a bit personality thing, I think. Um, but maybe it would have been better to go fast, create a product, and then in any case, in 1 year or so, like technology changes, you need to update it and make it different in any case. That's also what happened a bit with us, right? We did a very sound architecture, everything is good. Then we changed a lot of things still afterwards. So when you think about it, actually, it's better to do a prototype thing at first,
Yeah,
go in front of investors, get the investment, then jump on doing something very scalable.
yeah,
We did a bit the reverse. We did something very scalable from the beginning and then built on it, actually.
yeah. It's interesting to me because you did do that, but it's also interesting to hear like we did this 3 week, get something sort of good enough out the door. So clearly that exists in you. I wonder if it was. This is just a hypothesis. I wonder if it was like we know that this isn't the thing that we ultimately want to focus on. So our standards for it don't need to be up here, which lets us get it out the door much faster.
Yeah, yeah. And also that it was strategic, right? Because
Yeah,
the AI mail assistant, we knew that like Gmail would come out with Gemini and everything, and at that time Gemini wasn't even there.
right.
And also afterwards, it took a long time for Gemini to become something useful still.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we weren't expecting also it would take this much time though. But it was strategic. We knew that there will be some tools for emails and everything.
yeah,
It's just that let's do it now. Let's give something good for that point,
yeah,
and then and in the meantime, let's work on the big thing that we are working on.
yeah. And I want to hear before we go into the more of the behind the scenes. I just want you to tell us what is Klart. Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to show it for a minute or two, a little demo?
Yeah, I can show it actually. I can very well show it. Uh, but it's actually what we do mainly. We provide agent management system like for like mainly for enterprise, but we are opening to the public as well soon. And where you can actually connect your data, you can create your agents, you can connect these agents to various different data that you have on your drive or different tools, and then discuss with these agents, make the agents do some tasks for you, and automations as well. We are implementing a lot of different actions, also action capable agents, and where you can also like give access to your employees or other people that work with you, and where you have also an API that would give you access to various different agents inside of your product or something that you want to build as well.
And what's the pain point that you're solving for? Like the shitty solution that people are currently using that Clart is so much better
The pain point mainly like the thing is like it's very hard to find information right from all your data inside the company or inside of your drive files. It takes a lot of time, and I experienced it myself while I was working. My co-founder as well. Like everyone experiences it, I suppose. It's like you want to start a project, but you don't have the information. Maybe someone tried it already in the company, but you don't know. Uh, you go to Confluence, it's hard to find. You search everything. You go to Jira, you search everything. You go to another tool on the drive, like everything is everywhere. It's like it's a big hassle, let's say. And then there are also some repetitive tasks, right? Like that you do every day, where you have to find data, create a report, send the report to the employees or other teams or to someone in particular. You need to create some slides, this and that, by finding information here and there. Actually, and all of this was taking too much time for me, but for my team as well. And we analyzed it. Actually, it takes more than 50% of the time of a normal employee, like for a desk job. And we said, okay, like this takes a lot of time. There are ad hoc tasks that should be like easy to do as well. Like let's create something to actually fix all of this, right?
Amazing. So it's this classic like siloed data, siloed information. If people just knew what was happening or what had been decided or whatever in other parts of the org, they would be able to move forward not just much faster, but with much greater context, making more effective decisions, more connections, etc.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And also, like, while I was working on all of this, like, there was Confluence, Notion, and these kind of tools also, right?
Yeah,
And we were using them, but still, like, on Notion, for example, you input a lot of information, and then like, it's hard to find afterwards or what to check. So
yeah,
many documents, right?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Okay. So show us the solution.
So here actually when we go to the page we see this. There are steps actually that you can take. And first things first, you can connect your data, or you can directly chat. But you can connect your data here. There are a couple of different data sources that are connected. Like in my case, there's Google Drive, Notion, Confluence, and everything. But you can choose actually from different connectors, some different tools, and you can even connect your databases right
Wow.
from the cloud. And then it can actually the AI can do SQL queries to find specific data for you, or you can connect anything actually from PDF files to slides to Excel files, documents,
Wow.
whatever you want. And when you connect it, actually, I have some connected here. You go in here and you can choose the folders that you want to really synchronize with the AI. And there are so many folders, documents, and then you choose, you synchronize, and after synchronization, uh, you can create your agents. And here we have so many agents created here actually, and it's unlimited at the moment. So you can create, I don't know, an agent that will post on LinkedIn for you, like do LinkedIn posts, right? And you have a specific prompt that you can create. You can find some templates. You can choose the AI models that you want to use with it. Like, for example, you can choose OpenAI, of course. There is Mistral, Anthropic, Perplexity, Grok, Gemini, Cohere. And you can also choose a template. Like if you want a data analyst, choose this. If you want a really knowledge assistant that finds information for you, you choose
Wow.
this one. And there are many. There are even fun stuff. And you can create whatever you want, and also you can input your own prompt or your own agent, like create it over here directly. And you connect your data. You can connect all your data. Or you can connect some of them and then create the agent
This is
afterwards.
amazing.
Yeah, well, there is a lot of features actually behind the scenes also, and a lot of, and we have a fact-checking system as well that finds the right information all the time. And like I can ask web search, I can do like different things. For example, I have Google Ads agents as well, but let's say LinkedIn post agent, and it's a specific agent that actually helps me create a LinkedIn post, right? I tell it, let's say, create. Actually, I don't even have to say create a LinkedIn post because it knows already what he needs to do. But post about Klart AI and how it uh, integrates with different tools, right? And then it will be able to create in a specific way, because we actually analyzed and researched how LinkedIn posts should be and how much better engagement it will get. So there is a hook, context, insight, and reflection part, where at the end it should ask a question so that people engage. So it does all of it for me, and then I just copy paste it to LinkedIn. I
Wow.
can even like if I did connect LinkedIn to it, I could even tell it to actually post it directly with an image. So there are possibilities like that that we do custom, and also I
Wow.
can ask it search some information, right? That's
Amazing. And can you show us another agent that is like if you're working just in the business and you have a question about something important in the business, the company strategy or what's happened with another customer, something like that.
what do you mean? I didn't understand.
Can you, so I imagine an employee can just query an agent to uh, find out information for their day-to-day work as well. Is that right?
Yeah, for sure. And there is also web agent that is able to find some information on the web. I can also like combine different agents, right? For example, the LinkedIn agent did this. I can ask a normal GPT to like maybe do some other things with it, like change it, remove the emojis, and write it as an email, for example. And then it will create an email with this information and remove the emojis, for example.
Wow.
I can ask the general agent, for example, to find information about AI. What is it? Let's say, and then it will search the data, all the data, like data sources that we have, for example, Google Drive, Confluence, Notion, and to
Mm-hmm.
find the information. Klart AI is a B2B SaaS company that offers enterprise-grade autonomous AI solutions, and then it gives the sources. So per source comes from Google
Oh,
Docs.
wow. Like Perplexity, but with your own data.
Yeah, for sure. And then we are going to implement deep research also for your own data, where it can find a lot of information and do a big analysis. And these kind of also like tools that we are implementing at the moment.
Wow. So in some ways, it's like a so much better version of custom of like what you can find in a custom GPT, because it just has all of the context of your
Yeah,
entire company and
yeah,
the web.
yeah, yeah. It's
Wow.
actually that, and you can create many different agents, right? There is no limit. Actually, the only limitations are the features, and we are implementing and improving the features all the time.
Wow.
And using the best AI models, right? The newest models available in the market.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw you've got the whole menu of options.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's even cheaper than ChatGPT, right?
what's the cost?
It's actually monthly cost is 25 euros, and if you pay yearly, it's 20 euros.
€20 per user, I imagine.
Yeah,
Wow.
to
Wow.
have to have access to all of this actually.
That's wild. Sign me up. I love
Of
it.
course.
Okay. Thank you so much for the demo. I feel like I could ask you questions about that all day long. I'm really amazed and intrigued, and I just feel like that the possibilities for that when you have, I think for myself, having 10 or 11 years of a knowledge base just stored in my own files, to be able to leverage that is insane. And you can make it public as well, right? They're external facing agents as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as we have an API also, you can connect it to your chat widget, for example. You can connect to WhatsApp as well. Uh, Also, like directly on Slack or Teams, you can interact with
Hmm.
it. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. You can connect it to your product also, like
Do you
directly.
have voice mode yet?
Not yet. No, we didn't work on that because it wasn't asked by the companies that we work with already. But yeah, whenever there is feedback and request about it, we are thinking of implementing it.
Yeah. Um, okay. Wow. So interesting. I want to go back but behind the scenes. I imagine there's quite a lot of excitement within the team for what you're building, for the possibilities, um, and uh, and so much to keep up with in the AI space as well. I'm curious uh, how you do that, where you see yourself failing to do that. Just what systems you've created to. I can see you've got all the models, and I can see how it's incorporated. The product is incorporated so much of the latest AI advancements. How do you and the team stay up on what's happening, and where do you think you could do that even better?
Yeah. And this is quite hard, right? Because it changes every day, and the the market I think that changes the most at the moment. is AI space, and there is always something new that pops out, always a new technology, always something like that is slightly better than before and everything, and we need to implement it very quickly. So that's a bit of a that's a challenge, right? Because everything that is new comes with some specifications, and we need to adapt it to our code base, we need to adapt it to our tool. So there is a lot of work that is done behind the scenes, of course, with developers that they work very well, and everyone is following also the news. So we are following all the AI news possible, and to get the information like as quickly as possible. And we are, we do it like this at least. And yeah, for the models, we update them all the time.
Yeah. How many people are in the company now?
Right now, we are 11 people actually.
Um, all engineers?
Most of them, yeah. We have 5 engineers, and then the rest is mainly content or sales, marketing.
Great. And what do you think are the one or two greatest strengths of the team right
Greatest strengths of the team? That's a good question. Huh. Uh, I suppose it'll be like the engineering part at the moment, like with the architecture and the scalability. That is what our focus is, and yeah, like that is one of the strengths. Um, I wouldn't say sales is our strength in any case. But yeah, mainly products and engineering part is what we excel in, let's say.
now? Yeah, that's your background. You've got a lot of experience managing engineering
Yeah,
teams.
I manage these kind of teams also, but yeah, like the operational part, project part, and everything, I have a lot of experience with, and but the team has a lot of experience with
Yeah.
development.
What's most challenging for you in managing? You've got a lot of experience with the operations and with managing engineering. Now your purview is broader, managing sales, managing everything. It's either, I imagine falls to you or Errol to make sure that anything that's important gets taken care of by someone.
Yeah.
What's the biggest challenge for you in expanding your purview in that way?
When you say expanding review, what do you?
Yeah, sort of expanding your responsibility set beyond your area of competence.
Yeah. Well, the challenge mainly is the fact that I am a bit everywhere, so I cannot focus on one thing and do it incredibly well.
Yeah,
I need to do everything a bit here and there, so that's a bit the challenge mainly. Like sometimes you're like, what should I do now? It's like there's this, and that. How should I start with all of it?
yeah,
So that's a bit a big challenge. But in terms of management, I had already experience in any case, so I did management for more than 9 years, right? And the managing part is not mainly the problem or challenge for me. The main challenge is like managing all the different parts of the company, right? So that's
yeah,
a bit prioritizing, and sometimes saying, okay, we shouldn't work on this. It's quite hard, right?
yeah. The saying no. I imagine the sense of like, oh, we know what's possible, but we don't have unlimited bandwidth.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to do so many things at the
Yeah,
same time, right? Many ideas. Okay, we should do this, that, and this also, and eventually, you say, okay, we are not going to be able to do all of this at once.
you got to sleep sometime.
Yeah.
Um, Beautiful. The dispersion of focus is so challenging. Also, when there's so much excitement, to know what this is what we're going to focus on. And do you guys have a sort of systematic approach to prioritizing, or an intuitive approach? Uh, how
Mm,
do you engage in that process?
yeah, we have both, we can say. In the beginning, it was like more intuitive, very fast. You are like, okay, let's do this. Oh, something's changed. Let's skip that. Let's do the other one. Okay, let's prioritize that one. So, but eventually you have to be the more structured, right? Because then it becomes much and much harder. In the beginning, it's fine. I think it should be intuitive. It should be fast. You should test things. After that, you need still to test things, but you can't be like uh, like crazy this and that, and let's do this. It needs to be more structured. So right now we are more and more structured. We have the plan, the roadmap already done. We go with actually step by step what needs to be done. Maybe. Okay, along the way things change, right? You need to adapt some stuff, but eventually the structure stays the same.
Yeah. So it sounds like you have a set of ideas of what you'll work on. You're totally open to adapting that if that's what makes sense, but you also sort of have uh, an organized approach to moving through that roadmap and to deciding when to adapt and not.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, by the way? How would you go with it?
I think it's an important tension to hold. You know, I'll tell you a funny story. When I was 23, and the most important thing in the world to me was freedom. I was about to move to California, and my mother said, "What's your plan?" And plan in my mind represented the opposite of freedom. And I said, "I don't have a plan. I'm just going to go and figure it out." And she said something very simple and I thought quite wise. She said, you can have a plan and then change it. And to my 23-year-old self, this was a wonderful, novel insight. Uh, I think what happens within the team that I see a lot is uh, engineers they'll hear roadmap and they'll think, this is what will happen in the future. And it's not what will happen in the future. It's our best guess right now of what we think will be the highest priority. So if we can have a roadmap or whatever we want to call it, knowing that it's not what is going to happen, it's a reflection of today's understanding of the highest priorities, that can be useful. Um, what I think helps is a systematic process to zoom out periodically, not every day, but also not every 3 months, somewhere between, to zoom out and say, okay, what data are we getting from our customers? What are we hearing from prospects? What are people really loving and wanting more of, et cetera? And using that systematic process to define, okay, this is what's most important. Next, this is what's not as important. So we're going to deprioritize it for now. Um, I think doing that systematically is essential. Then we're neither like rigidly obeying last month's idea of what was most important, nor are we in the opposite end of the spectrum of like, well, this customer said this is the most important thing and that's front of mind, so let's focus on that. And the next week it's this, and there's this sort of whiplash that people experience. Alongside that, I think it's really important for anybody in the company to know the process for advocating to prioritize a particular feature or direction. To have a culture where everybody feels inclined, encouraged, motivated to speak up. And they know not that I'll say something and it will necessarily become the new direction, but I'll say something and it will be deeply considered like anything else. I think when you've got that process, everybody feeds into the direction and we make better decisions over time.
Yeah, I totally agree, actually. Um, And what we do mainly is we always discuss internally some of the like decisions, like where we should go, or what framework should we use, or what tools, uh, or what features should have. And there's always a discussion. Like it could be a debate as well. Like maybe this is more important. Maybe this is
Yeah.
more.
Do you have any agents you've created using Clart to sort of gather customer feedback and integrate it?
Not yet. No, we didn't do that yet. But we should. Actually, what I'm using it for mainly is like for customer support, obviously,
Yeah.
or LinkedIn, Twitter, and these posts also that started mainly for marketing campaigns, for website content as well. Using it to sometimes like answer my emails also, um, and using for data, for database agents to find information and data from all the data that we receive. Mainly, we are quite data driven, right? So we check more data than feedback mainly,
Yeah.
because I think data is speaking by itself, right?
Mm.
And feedback can be always subjective from a person, let's say, but what they do, it's not right on the product.
Yeah.
So that's a
The
bit,
data is the actual feedback. You
yeah,
look at it, that will feed back into your decision making.
yeah. That's the thing. That it can say I don't like this feature that much, but if he uses it a lot, more than some of them, it means that maybe
Yeah.
he's okay with it. It's just that it can be better, right?
Yeah.
So there is that.
I resonate a lot with that approach. And what I think what complements it is we'll get data on the features that we already have. We can extrapolate from that a little bit on what we might build, but what requires some creativity that the data by itself won't tell us is about the features that we don't have, about the unmet needs, and that's less. I think you're making a great point that the feedback, is like the old Henry Ford quote of, if you'd asked customers, they would have said, we want a faster horse. But actually watching what they're doing uh, can give us a sense of, oh, this is what we might build next.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And but in any case, we listen to feedback as well. Don't worry. But yeah, like the thing is, the issue with mm, feedback also, like it's always helpful, but not every feedback uh, should always be listened. And if it comes repeatedly, then you should listen. Let's say, if it just comes once, just put it aside. Like don't remember it, but don't act on it
Yeah.
directly. Maybe. So there is that.
One thing I often say to my clients when they voice this concern, we do a lot of work about within the team, asking for feedback from your teammates, giving quality feedback. And I say, what if I ask for feedback and I don't want to do it? Because feedback is data. It's not a demand.
Yeah,
It's just a perspective. When it's quality feedback, it's actual data. Here's what I saw. Here's what I observed. It's just an input to be more informed. Very much aligned with, yeah, we don't. If it's just one person, even speaking very loudly, that doesn't make it top of the roadmap.
yeah, yeah. Totally, totally.
Yeah. Let me ask you one final question for now, Loyal. It's May 2025. In May 2026, um, what do you, if you're looking back from May 2026 and you're talking to yourself from there, which I know is a funny perspective, what would you tell yourself now? What's the
If I'm
most?
wait, if I'm talking to myself in May 2026,
No, if you in May 2026 is talking to you right now, what
uh,
does he want you to know? What does he want you to focus on most?
That's a very hard question. We are not in 2026, so I can't know that.
It's an impossible question.
Yeah, but good. It's nice to think about it actually.
Let me frame it a little differently to help you. If in May 2026 you're incredibly proud of what you focused on or what you did right now, what would that be?
It'll be a good job if I'm proud already. If I was proud, let's say in 2026 of what we did now, it'll be like mainly. I'm not very good at saying very positive things to myself, especially. To others, yeah, but to myself. Um, yeah, I would say you did good. But if I wasn't happy with it, I would say all the different things that I did bad. Very precisely by saying concretely what I did wrong. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I can answer it like that. It's not a great answer, I know, but
So what you're saying is you'd give yourself an honest retrospective of the
yeah,
year, and that's what would be most helpful.
yeah, for sure.
And honest retrospectives are often the fastest way to where we want to go.
And most useful also. Like saying good job, it's not sufficient, right? It needs to be why. So how and everything. If you say also like give a negative feedback, also it should be always like constructive, right? It needs to be okay. You did this, but it should be like this, and why, how. There's always a reasoning behind. If you don't give the reasoning, there is no point.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
The why tells us what to keep doing if it's a good job.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just come back to you wanting to, get my good job praise again.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't learn also why you did a good job.
Yeah. Yeah. It's self-defeating.
Yeah.
All right. Noyan Bilge, thank you so much for joining us at AI for that. I'm amazed by what you've built at Klart AI. I want to get building with it myself.
Thank you, and you're welcome also to use the tool as much as you want. Let me know if you need anything, and it was very nice talking to you, Jack.